Hello guys, today I will share with you all the tools you need for game dev, and they are all free, which will help you make games without thinking about money. Starting with game engines. First we have Godot. This is the best free game engine right now. It's open source, so you own everything you make. You can build 2D and 3D games. It uses GDScript, which is super easy to learn, like Python but for games. You can also use C#. The interface is clean and not scary like other engines. Big companies can't shut it down or change the rules because no one owns it. Perfect for indie developers who want full control. Next, we have gamedev. No coding required. You make games by creating events with visual blocks. When player presses space, character jumps. That's simple. You can export to mobile, web, and desktop. Great for artists and designers who don't want to learn programming. The visual system is powerful enough to make real games, not just simple demos. O3DE, Open 3D engine from Amazon. This is AAA quality stuff, free and open source, but very complex. If you want to compete with big studio graphics, this is your tool. Not for beginners. You need serious 3D knowledge to use this properly. The next category is specialty engines. Beastie makes tiny pixel story games in your browser, perfect for personal stories and experimental games. The limitation forces you to be creative. Many indie artists use this to make emotional, meaningful games. Games are small but impactful. Next we have PuzzleScript, browser-based puzzle game maker. You write simple rules and it creates the game. Perfect for Scoop-style games, tile puzzles, anything with grid-based movement. The scripting language is really clever and easy to understand. Rampy, the king of visual novels, dating sims, story games, interactive fiction. Most visual novels on Steam uses this. Has save systems, choice menus, character sprites, everything you need. Python-based, but you don't need to know Python to use it. Now let's go to level and map creation section. And we're starting first with tiled, the standard for 2D level design. Paint tiles to create worlds, set up collision maps, add object layers for enemies and items. Every 2D engine can import tiled maps. Free, works everywhere, tons of tutorials available. Industry standard for a reason. LDTK, modern alternative to tiled, smarter auto-tiling features, better workflow for complex levels, has intelligent rules for how tiles connect, great integration with modern games, great integration with modern engines like Godot, more user-friendly interface than tiled. The next section is 2D art and pixel art. And we have first Krita, professional digital painting software, better than Photoshop for concept art and illustrations. Great brush engines, perfect for creating character art, backgrounds, and UI elements. Completely free, but feels like expensive software. Next, we have Inkscape, vector graphics editor, makes scalable UI icons, logos, and clean geometric art. Vector graphics stay sharp at any size. Essential for UI design and marketing materials. Alternative to expensive Adobe Illustrator. Pixelorama, made specifically for pixel art and animation. Frame-by-frame animation tools. Onion scanning to see previous frames. Perfect for indie game sprites. Much easier than general art software for pixel work. And we have LibreSprite, fork for the popular Sprite pixel art tool. Does everything Sprite does, but it's free. Pixel perfect tools. Animation timeline, palette management, great for retro-style game graphics. The next section is 3D modeling and sculpting. And we're starting with Blender, the giant of free 3D software. Modeling, sculpting, rigging, animation, rendering, video editing. Can do anything. Steep learning curve, but incredibly powerful. Used by professional studios. Constantly getting better with regular updates. Next we have Magica Voxel, voxel art creation. Think Minecraft style blocky 3D art, simple to use, creates beautiful voxel scenes, exports standard 3D formats that work in any engine, perfect for stylized 3D games. Sculpt.gl, web-based 3D sculpting, works in your browser, good for quick sculpting and prototyping, not as powerful as Blender, but much easier to start with, great for beginners who want to try 3D sculpting. And we have in the next section, textures and materials, starting with Material Maker, node-based material creation, like Substance Designer, but free, creates seamless textures and PPR materials. Visual Code Interface makes complex materials easier to understand. Export textures that work in any engine. GIMP with Gimmick. GIMP is like free Photoshop. Gimmick adds hundreds of filters including normal map creation. Together, they handle all your texture editing needs. Create bump maps, normal maps, and textural variations. Let's see what we have in animation and rigging section. Maximo, Adobe's free auto rigging service. Upload your 3D character and get it rigged automatically. Huge library of mocap animations. One-click retargeting, perfect for indie developers who don't want to learn rigging. And the next section is audio and music. And of course, we have at first Audacity, the classic audio editor. Record, edit, and clip up sound effects. Batch processing for handling lots of files at once. Create simple tones and noise, essential for any audio work in games. Then we have LMMS, Linux Multimedia Studio. Works on all platforms. Make music with loops, samples, and synthesizers. MIDI support for keyboard input. Great for electronic game music. Much simpler than professional DAWs. For sound effects, we have BFXR, Instant Radio Sound Effects. Click buttons to generate classic arcade sounds, laser shoots, explosions, power-ups, all the 8-bit sounds you need. Perfect for radio-style games or quick prototyping. Next we have Freesound and Zapslat, sound effect libraries. Freesound is Creative Commons licensed. Zapslat requires free registration but has professional quality sounds, essential for filling out your game's audio. Now let's move on to code and development section, starting with VS Code, Microsoft free code editor, extensions for every programming language. Instant autocomplete makes coding faster. Integrated terminal and debugging, works with every game engine and framework. Then we have Replit, code in your browser, no installation needed. Share projects easily, good for learning and quick prototyping. Has templates for many game frameworks, great for beginners who don't want to set up development environments. GDScript in Godot, Godot's built-in scripting language, designed specifically for games, much simpler than C++, but still powerful. Syntax highlighting, autocomplete, integrated debugging, everything you need is built right into the engine. Now let's move on to an important section, version control in teamwork. And we have first Git with GitHub or GitLab, essential for any serious project. Save every version of your project. Work with team members without breaking each other's work. Free private repositories, industry standard for software development. Helix Core, Preforces version control system, better for large binary assets like 3D models and textures. Free for simple team apps to 5 users and 1 GB for assets. Many game studios use Preforce instead of Git. Now let's move on to project management section. And of course, we will start with Trello, Kanban boards for organizing tasks, create cards for features, move them through to-do, doing, done columns. Visual project management, great for solo developers or small teams. Free tier handles most indie projects. Next we have Notion, all-in-one workspace, documents, databases, wikis, project management, write your game design document, track bugs, manage tasks all in one place. Powerful, but can be overwhelming with all the features. Next we have Miro, digital whiteboard for flowcharts, mind maps, and storyboards. Great for planning game mechanics and user flows. Collaborate in real time with team members. Visual brainstorming tool. Let's talk about quality assurance and testing section. GitHub issues. Simple bug tracking integrated with your code repository. Players can report bugs directly. Link issues to code commits. Free with GitHub repositories. Good enough for most indie projects. itch.io Butler. Command line tool for uploading builds to itch.io. Continuous integration support. Automatically upload new versions when you update your code. Essential for managing frequent updates during development. Marketing and documentation. We have first OBS Studio. Record gameplay footage and live stream development. Create trailers, tutorials, and marketing videos. Free and professional quality. Most game developers use this for content creation. Next, we have DaVinci Resolve. Professional video editing software that's completely free. Color correction, audio mixing, visual effects. Used by Hollywood studios, but free for indie developers. Perfect for creating polished game trailers. Then we have Screen to GIF. Quick and simple GIF creation from screen recordings. Perfect for showing off game mechanics on social media. Small file size, easy to use, essential for indie game marketing.